you're single is not waiting for your next boyfriend or your next girlfriend. This is the time that you are supposed to be optimizing that time of being single to become a better version of yourself. Okay. I don't think people glorify being single as much as they should, the way they glorify being with someone. I know the world make it so cute to be like, oh, you should have a boyfriend, you should have a girlfriend, or you need to be with somebody. And most people look at being single as your lane. You can't get nobody. You know what I'm saying? Don't nobody want you. And you will let all these insecurities play in your head, or what people say, or you will be looking at the internet and you will be looking at somebody else's relationship, and you'll be sitting up there thinking that I can't wait until I get my next this, instead of how could I take this time to becoming the best version of myself. And on tonight, I'm going to give you just 4 things you should be doing. This is not an option, this is not a maybe. You should be doing while you are single. Okay. Okay. So tonight's topic on the podcast is why being single is crucial. Now listen to the topic. You might not like it, but I'm telling you, tag your single friends, the one that you know they need to be single right now, and be focusing more on that. But every time you turn around, they steady trying to talk about, man, I want to get with old girl, I want to get with old dude. They need to be up in this room. They need to be hearing what's being said. And if you are single, and you might have just came to a single place where you have broken up, maybe don't got a boo, and you know you could be down right now. That's understandable. That goes with the process of breaking up with someone. But we're going to switch our mindset, and we're going to focus on how can we optimize this time and make this the greatest moment while we are being single and positioning ourselves. Okay. So the topic on tonight is why being single is crucial and what to do while single. Okay? Why being single is crucial and what to do while being single. So again, my name is Miss Stem, and this is unapologetically spoken because there's nothing to apologize about. And we finna get right into why being single is crucial and what you need to do while you're single. So the first thing you need to do while you're single is be single with no situationship. Okay, that means that the boo you got, you need to go put them down right now. Oh, that's just my little friend. We ain't together. Or, you know what I'm saying? That's just the old dude. You know, I just talked to him. Why? Or, oh, girl, that's just. No, no, no. Right there, you're going about being single. Or, well, matter of fact, if you got a situationship, you're not single. Single means single. What do single mean? Single mean one. If they be like, "Do you have a piece, another piece of candy?" You be like, "No, I only have one single piece." That mean one alone. That no. If you were talking about two, now we're going into uno couples. And it can keep going up. But uno means single. When you're playing the game uno means you're down to the last one card. Okay. So when you are single, you should not be in no situationship. And I'm going to tell you why you shouldn't. Because they on the side telling you how much they like you. And they on the side telling you, how much they want to be around you. And all of that is a distraction. That's throwing you off from what you need to be really doing while you are single. So guess what? You can't focus solely on you because you got someone else over here that's trying to get up in your perimeter and they want to focus on you and want you to focus on them. So that's like situationships are still like you are putting yourself in some kind of relationship with someone. It may not be an exclusive relationship, but still you're putting yourself in a place to where you are still causing energy to flow out, when right now when you are single you need to make all that energy flow into yourself. And most people don't know how to do that. And that's why most people constantly get in failing relationships. Because when you are single, that is the time that you could be optimizing, becoming the best version of yourself, preparing. Most people don't even know that being single is a preparation time. You are prepping yourself to enter into a relationship. Most people do it backwards. They don't know how to be single and they just jump into relationships and then it's just all bad from there. Because you didn't use that single time. You looked at single as boring. You looked at single as don't nobody want me. You looked at single as this ain't the fun life. When really being single is preparation season. But you ready to go get in a relationship with Jim, Joe, John, and Jew, and you ain't did the proper customary work that you need to do when you were single. So guess what? I can say it and say it with a surety that you're bound to fail in this next relationship that you finna jump right in, and because you so desperately want to be in a relationship. So when you are being single, you should be totally single with no situationships and no distractions. This is crucial. I said why being single is crucial. I use that word for a reason. It is crucial. It is pertinent that you be single for a season and a time. No one say to be single all your life, but you need to be single for a season and a time. Because all of that is preparation season. That's just like opening a business, but you didn't do the proper work on the back end to prepare for that business. That's what you do when you find yourself getting in relationships and you ain't spent the proper time on the back end being single, prepping yourself for that business. Because I already did a podcast on relationships or businesses, and they are. So when you get into a relationship with someone else, you are opening a business, but you haven't took that crucial season and time of being by yourself, which is the time you supposed to be properly prepping yourself to get in a business ship with someone and be adequate at it. Most people are in relationships and you're not even adequate for the job. You don't even suit the job. And then most employees that are hiring people, and look, what I'm saying, this ain't no lie because I've been there. I have hired employees and meaning in a relationship and they wasn't suit for the job because I didn't properly know how to do the interview. But see, this is what happens when you take that time to be single. You know how to properly interview people to decide if you want to hire them to be the employee with your business or not. And see, I use this terminology and this symbolicness because that's what a relationship is. It is a business. Most people want to just say it's love, but baby, love is not going to keep it. Love ain't going to carry it, and love is not going to make it endure. Okay? Period. It's just like saying opening the business. If you don't keep your product top tier, that I don't care about you having a product. It's how you maintain your product that will keep your business flowing. Okay. So it's the same with a relationship. Love is not going to keep no relationship. Okay, it's very important for a relationship, but it ain't gonna keep no relationship. This is why you need to be single and be on the back end prepping so you can become the best interviewer and know how to properly pick out the proper employee that you would like to come in and fulfill that position. Now imagine if people looked at relationships like that instead of just looking at it like they cute or they got money or I like the way they said this. That's not, if you interview someone off of those things, I'm sorry, but that was a poor interview. And guess what? You're liable to get poor quality work. Look, I'm the one. And I'm going to say it in love. I'm telling because I've been there. That's not enough. That's not enough. When you're hiring someone for a position, you need to know what it is you need to be fulfilled for that position. And just saying, oh, they're cute, or oh, I like the way they look, or you going off of all these materialistic things or these outer looking things, then that, I'm sorry, you was asking the wrong question. You was focusing on the wrong thing. So, why being single and crucial and what to do while you're single? The first thing you need to do is make sure you remove yourself from all situationships. And why? Because they are a distraction. That's a distraction. That's like in most times, that's just something you will do until you run across that something particular or that certain person that you feel like, yeah, I would truly like to entertain you. I want to hire you for the position. Okay. So the first thing you need to do is focus solely on you with no situation. It is so hard, and I'm not saying everybody, but for a lot of people, it is so hard to be by yourself. You have to have someone there. And to me, and that alone speaks something of there is some essence or sense of brokenness already going on within yourself. Because if you can't be alone, in most cases, people like that are liable to have or put anything in connection with them just because they can't stand being alone, just because they don't like the feeling of being alone. Most people can't even do that. Just be, I'm talking about solely alone. I'm talking about you don't have no late night creep. I'm talking about you don't have that one you talk to on the phone all day. You know, you got all these different thousands of people doing different tasks to make up this one person that you really want. So if you can't cut off, you most definitely need to get in the gym and get fit. You most definitely can benefit from this whole topic. You most definitely need to grow and better identifying what it is that suits your life. Because the goal when you get in a relationship with anyone is to do what? Build an empire. I would hope for most people. Most people is to build an empire. So when you got in that last relationship, I'm talking about that one. You can play silly games within your own mind, but that one where you really wanted to be with them. You really wanted this to go somewhere. You seen yourself building a life with them, but yet you're not with them for whatever reason. And many people can come with whatever reason that they want to go, oh, they cheated on me. Oh, they lied on me. Oh, what I'm saying, we grew apart, whatever that it was. But at the end of the day is that you did not, by your own volition, pick the person that was adequate to fill the role and the job position. And in most cases, most people do this. You know why? Because most people don't even know the role and the position that they need to be filled. In most cases, the world that we live in and the society that we live in, people build their relationships off of what they see other people doing. Most people don't even really know what they adequately need for their own life, that they can put themselves in a position to be in a successful relationship. Because you building it off what your friend got, or you building it off what your favorite rapper or your favorite star or whoever that person you may look up to. You building it off of that. But the danger in that is that my relationship off of what someone else is doing because I'm not them. I might not even like what they like. I might, you know what? I mean, on a for real note, it's things that I see females that they love. I'm talking about they actually adore when it comes to a relationship. They feel like it's a necessary. And if he ain't doing that, then I don't want him. But for me, I look at it and like that ain't even that important. I'm not really even hooked on all that. So what I'm saying is that when we put ourselves in a place of truly being single with no situationships, when we put ourselves in a position to truly become faithful and dedicated to no dating, we put ourselves in a position to really concentrate, focus. Oh no, we ain't becoming them people that be like, I don't need nobody. I don't I'm just be no. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying at all. What I'm saying is you're taking yourself out the dating pool right now and you're deciding to focus on yourself because if you were in a position where you became single, that means you had an unsuccessful relationship. And for whatever reason, and however you try to slice it, it's still your fault that the relationship was not successful. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. They may did it to you, but you, in some essence, some way, you allowed it. It's your life. So even in that, it's personal growth of even saying that I messed up somewhere along the line. And that's why you need to get quiet, sit down, and truly be single so you can focus on how is it that I keep finding myself in these unsuccessful situations. That's what you really need to do. And you need to be quiet. You don't need no situationship on the sideline. Stay trying to tell you how they want to get with you or get between the sheets or all that. You don't need that. That's a distraction. You really need to sit down. And most people will say, oh, well, I found out that he or she was a liar. They wasn't truthful. Then guess what? That means that in most cases, you was moving too fast. You were moving too fast. And in today's society we live in, people move just like that. You just met them yesterday, and then right after that, you got them all up in your business, your space, your case, because you solely, in most cases, people are solely moving off of emotions. And that's dangerous within itself because emotions is just that. They be in motion. You feeling it today, and now today you ain't feeling it. When it comes to an emotion, I tell people emotions are just there for you to identify how something makes you feel. Emotions is not there for you to be making decisions off of. It plays a role, but it should not be the sole reason of your decision. Because you like them because he said hi or she said hi, or the way they smiled or turned around and did all that. But now they open their mouth and they start talking, but you was moving too fast. Now you don't like the way they be talking. They be talking reckless. They be this. So when it comes to relationship, you have to take accountability to you play a role in some sense on why you find yourself in failing relationships. You may not be the antagonizer. You may not be the liar. You may not be the cheater. You may not be the manipulator. You may not be any of those things, but you are one that have a poor sense of judgment. You are hasty. It could be many things. You could be naive, and you need to fix that. I mean, that's just real talk. You have people that are so naive, they just believe and they are really gullible. And they just take in information without questioning it, without cross examination. Well, they told me that in spite of all the other indications, or showing that from a person that's really thinking and ain't gullible and naive, they'll look at it and be like, nah, this right here was telling you that was a no. This right here was a red flag. That right there was a red flag. So in most cases, people continue to make the same mistake because they won't take that time out of being in a single season and sitting down to truly rectify why is it that I keep finding myself or putting myself in unsuccessful relationships. They'll sit up there. In most cases, the blame always sound good. They did it. They lied. They cheated. They did it. And it could be very well true. It's not to discredit what they did was wrong, but it is also to question how did you get yourself in a position to allow for someone to cheat on you, to lie on you, to manipulate you. And then most times you get down to the subject, you start asking the right question to people, you find out you ain't even know them before you was calling yourself in a relationship. How long was y'all talk? Oh, 5 minutes. Now I'm hypothetically saying this, but you get my point in my drift and my draft. It take more than 5 minutes to get to actually see who someone is. Like I heard dude said, and I loved it. People are always interview ready. Guess what? They put on their best clothes. They put on their best personality, their best talk, their best speech. They gonna say what they think that the employer wants to hear. They're gonna say it. Oh, yeah. So, how do you feel about teamwork? Oh, I feel teamwork is very important. And without teamwork, teamwork make the dream work. They'll say everything that they feel you want to hear, and you're eating it up. But guess what? That don't mean that off the back, just because you gave them an interview and it sounded good, did you really check their resume? Have you did some reference calling? Sit back and pay attention to see, do they really do what they're talking about? But you didn't do that because you fell in love with what they said. You never really took time to pay attention to what they did and what they do. And then about time that you really do, it's too late. You fall in, you didn't gave your body up, you didn't commit it, you didn't move in, you didn't introduce them to your mama, your daddy, and not just moving too fast. And I tell people all the time, one thing about people is they can say things to make it sound good, but they cannot uphold it if it's not really them. If you give it time, time tells all things. But we stay in a generation where everyone's in a microwave situation. I want it and I want it now. I'm sick of being single. I want to be with somebody now. And then we get hasty and then we start rushing. Most people be putting times on themselves. By 23, I was supposed to be this, that, and there. And then you start putting pressure on yourself. And guess what? You actually take yourself out of the position of truly enjoying your single season and becoming the best version of yourself, because that's what you're supposed to be doing while you're single. And guess what? For people that have been in relationships and now you broke up and you single, you really need to sit down and you need to find out, how did I get myself into that? What did I do wrong? But in most cases, when it comes to people in relationships, they spend more time on talking about what people did to them. That's the highlight of the whole relationship. It was them. They lied to me. They cheated on me. They manipulated me. They crossed me. They weren't loyal to me. They weren't this. And guess what? You weren't lying, but that was not it. When do you get to the point where you ask the question, okay, how did they get a chance to do all of that to me? In them questions, you start finding clarity, and personal growth can be developed. To guess what? You will find, for some people, they may find, you know what? It wasn't that I was ignorant and did not know what they were doing, but I have learned about myself that I have insecurities. So I will put up with something that I know is not right just to have someone there. But you know what? In most cases, people don't like dealing with that because they want to see the person that did it to them. All they want to see is the person that did it to them. And guess what? It's dangerous. So guess what? After they get through making up all of these things and they saying they did it, they did it, they did it, they did it, and because they don't want to put their mirror on what they did, guess what? They went back out here in the streets and they do the same thing, because you never got down to the root of what was broken in you that allowed you to let that even happen to you. You never got to that root because you never got to that question, because it felt more comfortable to blame them than to really bring the hard questions to yourself on how did they even get up on you like that and in your personal space to even do you like that. People don't want to talk about that question. And this is why I tell people being single is crucial. It's crucial. It's detrimental for your life. And while you are single, truly discover your life. Most people, if you ask them who they are, they don't even know. And I was thinking about this as I was putting this together. Most people identity is built off the back of someone else, especially the world that we live in today. People are so impressionable. A lot of people are so busy following the trends that a long time ago you lost your identity. And then especially for the youth, I feel so sorrowful because they are really in a pure pressure impressionable place, to where we live in a world to where if you ain't this or doing that or doing this, it's like they never really get a chance to discover who they are, because they're so busy trying to be who they are or do what they're doing. Because if you ain't messing with a girl or a boy, you lame. You can't get no girls. Girl, don't nobody want you. You broke, you bum, you this, you ugly, this and that. I mean, it's real talk. So guess what? In most cases, people come from broken places, and it can even steal them all the way back to your home. Being raised in a broken environment, that broke your identity, to where the environment was so loud that you took on the toxicity of that and you never truly even discovered who you were. And you just took off with that identity. And now, young man, you see your father treat somebody, or your uncles, your brothers, your this, and now that's how you treat women. You all up in their identity. But if you really cracked up out of that identity, you would find out you a lover boy. And ain't nothing wrong with that. But you was never able to find that out because you grew up around a bunch of men that looked at another man that tended to a woman or was kind of gentle to a woman. You would look at that, and he got treated like, oh, you soft. You soft. You over there buying her flowers. You this and it and that. And because that young man didn't want to feel like an outcast from his uncles, his brothers, it could even be his own father. He threw that identity away, his true identity. And then he put on the identity of someone else so he can fit in. Because now you looking like them. You ain't even yourself no more. You looking like them. And they're like, oh, that's right, my boy. You got it. You out here doing it. And it could go vice versa for women and all of that. All of that. You put pressure. You want this to be hanging out. You got to be out here tricking him. And you need to be messing with the dude that got the money. And because this is the society we live in. So in most cases, as I was thinking about this, people don't even have time to be single. Let alone do people even embrace being single. So they miss the important curating that happens in being single. Because when you're being single, it's like being in a quiet space. And it's like preparation and preparing yourself. And as I was thinking about it, it was like, and for most people, while they're single, they're so single being busy on wondering when is he or she coming. So you really can't focus on what you need to be doing while you're single. People don't even know that there is a job that you should be doing while you're single. And I thought about it like this. If we were really to take things in the perspective and put it in the right place, right? So when I say this, meaning that a young man or a young woman, right? They were a toddler. They had to grow up, right? They hit a season of maturity, right? And as parents, if things, I'm just saying in an ideal world, this is what was really happening. Really, as that child is growing in their single season, because they have not got to the place of where they're even worried about all of that. And if parents were really preparing them in their single season, because that is what the single season is about, preparation. This is why I tell people embrace it. Quit trying to be so busy putting someone in your phone and on your screen and talking to someone. Embrace it. Sit back. Because if you sit back and embrace it, you won't get schemed and scammed. Because that's what happened. And for that child, in an ideal world, if they were truly brought up in a home where they seen loving mother and a father, and they were teaching them, their sons. The man is teaching his son how to be a proper man and treat a woman properly. And that young woman was seeing from her mother on how to be a woman and properly what it is you're supposed to be doing. Guess what? It would be very hard for you to trick that child because they would be trained and grown in that way. So listen, I'm saying all this to say that we living in a world where that's not happening a lot. I ain't gonna say it all. A lot. We living in a world where that is not even happening a lot. So guess what? It's real dangerous. It's dangerous. People are out here jumping in relationships and they don't even have a clue, because let's go back to the foundation. Most of them ain't even growing up in a home seeing love between a man and a woman, because that's the first ideal picture that you get. I mean, it's real talk. This is what is happening. They're not even growing up in there. So woe be unto that child. So now most children are growing up in a home to where they're seeing, Oh, daddy, he cussed mama out. Mama didn't call him cheating. Right. Right. People don't even know what a friendship look like. There you go. And mama didn't call him cheating. She let him back in, and mama, she don't really stand up for herself. She just let daddy do whatever that daddy want to do, or mama could be doing it. The roles could be switched, right? I don't put these things on no gender because it can happen from either side, okay? But what is happening is toxicity, and then them people won't fix it, right? So guess what? I tell people all the time, you teach children without teaching children. Through words, you teach them through action. So you are showing them, you are impressionating their mind. You are putting on their mind that, yeah, this is exactly for that little girl. Yeah, it's okay if he cheat. Yeah, it's okay if he called me out my name. Mama accepted it. Mama accepted it from daddy. And you telling that young man, or it could be vice versa, because women could be verbally abused. It can be vice versa, okay? So don't take it as I'm trying to bash the man. I'm talking about just the level of toxicity. And then, even if a young man is seeing a mama being verbally abusive, now he's getting it in his mind that it is okay to be verbally abused by a woman, and this is okay. So guess what? Yeah, my girl, she can cuss me out. She can talk to me like that. Yeah. And I'm saying all this to say that. So let's bring this child up to their pubic their maturity level. I can't even think of the word. Their maturity level. Right now, they're ready to start talking to the opposite gender or being in a relationship. Their foundation of a relationship is already warped. It's already warped. On top of the fact, everything you seeing going on in the world. So guess what? They don't know how crucial it is to be single, to learn about themselves. So it's just like it keep happening. They jump off the porch, they jump in a relationship. Toxic. And now we live in a world because won't nobody be single and do the proper work, what is necessary in being in single. And I'm gonna get to the next key and what's necessary in being single. Guess what? We stay in a world where now women can't stand men. Men think that women just users and abusers, and women think men is the slaves, and it's just all these wrong ideologies. And guess what? Nobody ever steps out of the rat race and say, "Hold up, something is wrong here." No, being in a relationship is not ugly. Love can be beautiful. Most people think that relationships got to be toxic to be successful. It's not even funny, but it is the truth. You got to accept someone mistreating you, but it'll get better. Now you got grandmas and grandpa telling, "Stay, baby, it'll get better. He gone or she gone." They encouraging this, and this is what we live in. But I come to tell you right now, I don't receive it, and I reject the whole concept. What happens and what needs to happen is people who are not in a successful relationship, and you found yourself in relationship after relationship and after relationship, and it ain't working. You need to be single and accept it and embrace it as a crucial season of personal work you need to be doing on yourself so you don't get scammed and bamboozled. So you can go in and fix that brokenness. So you can build a healthy mindset. Most people go into relationships and the mindset ain't even healthy. Most people go in relationships on the hope and the whim. Their mind ain't even stable. They hoping it work. It might. I don't, you got people now that say all men cheat, all women are users, all women lie. This is the mindset. And now it's just be with them, but just know that they do this. All men cheat, all women lie, all women are users. This the mindset. This the speech we got going on now. So most people go in relationships already with a broken mindset. So how you gonna have some healthiness anywhere? Please tell me. I wanna know. It's not gonna happen. Because people who have been in relationships and they're unsuccessful, let's try something new. Be single and know that it is crucial for you to be single and embrace it and actually be single with no situationship. Be committed and faithful to not dating for a season and a time. Let's start there. And in that time, you will work on healing. You'll work on healing. Now, what needs to be healed has yet to be told because that requires some soul searching. That requires some quiet time. That requires accountability. That requires examination. That requires looking and acknowledging the hard things. Because this is the thing about it all. No one can do no more to you than you allow. No one. It's your life. So if they connived you, cheated, deceived you, and did all of that, you allowed it. I don't care if you say, I know he or she was cheating. You allowed it. The signs was there. It's just you was so far into it that you didn't want to believe the signs, so you chose to live in a delusional state. Mm, mm, mm. This the hard stuff. This the hard stuff. Yeah, you got to get with it. Get into it. If you truly want to use your single season to grow and become a better version, so you don't get scammed and bamboozled the next time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you knew most likely that man or woman was messing with somebody else. The signs was there. Yeah. Yeah, they was acting like this one day, and then the next day you can't hardly get in touch with them. You can't find them on holidays. You know, they might spend a little something. They always the patterns there. Like, stop playing with yourself. Stop doing it. They was gone. Oh, they worked out of town. So, they had a family all there. But yeah, they was out of town. And when you called, you couldn't get in touch with them. And then when you did get in touch with them, they lied to you and you knew it. They were lying. But you just said, I'm going to believe it. Come on, now we're going to get into the accountability. Let's stop blaming it. It was there. It was there. I do not care what you say, how you say it, what way you want to turn it or splice it. It was there. Because one thing about a relationship is that anyone that's doing anything contrary or different, they're going to have to switch up what they're doing and be contrary and different. Now they don't do this anymore. Now all of a sudden they're doing this. But you just let them lie to you and tell you, and you knew it. You knew it. Yeah, no, you ain't had no proof. Not yet. But you shouldn't have let them drag you all the way down the street to see it, to say, I knew it. If you knew it, you should have excused yourself out the situation a long time ago. Yeah, real talk. You let them do that to you. So when it comes down to relationship, there is no excuse that you can use on the reason or to say how it was so much of their fault and you didn't play no role in it. Letting them hurt you, letting them lie to you, letting them manipulate you, letting them cheat on you, letting them do whatever that they did to you. Yes, you played your role at the end of the day. It's your life. Why do you didn't remove yourself from that situation and you knew they were doing that? But you didn't do it. So when it comes to this area, be single and sit down and work on yourself. Because what happens, and I've seen it. Matter of fact, I've done it and I've seen it over and over and over again. People who will not sit down and be single and embrace that singleness and work on themselves, they keep doing the same thing. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Because how you not gonna do the same thing when you ain't healed what was broken inside of you on the reason that you keep finding yourself in dead end situations. And now you gonna lie to yourself and you gonna tell yourself it don't matter. It don't. And these the lies people start telling themselves. People start shape shifting like a chameleon and saying, I don't care. I'm just gonna do these dudes like they do me. I'm just gonna do these girls like they do me. I don't care. I don't want to be in no. And all these lies you tell yourself, and really you just speaking from a broken-hearted place and a place from somebody who don't want to work on themselves and fix yourself so you don't keep getting schemed and bamboozled. Yeah, being single matters, but nobody wants to be single. And or if you single, you just saying, I'm gonna be single for a little while. I ain't gonna date nobody, but you ain't doing the proper work to work on yourself. So when you ready to jump back in that field, you don't play yourself. Cause you played you. They helped playing you, but you played you. I'm gonna just be by myself. And then now, you girl. Or nah, dude, I'm cool. And this and that. Or you turning bitter. You resentful. You carrying all that trash in the next situation. So just being single is not enough. When you are single, work on yourself. This is the time you supposed to be prepping and becoming a better version of yourself. So when the next time you step out there, you're supposed to do better. You know the definition of insanity is to keep doing the same thing, expecting different results. You ain't did nothing to work on yourself to stop yourself from the cycle of steady being in toxic situations, and you keep on and doing it, but you crying about it. You insane. That's what you are. Legally, by the definition, you are insane. And now you mad because don't nobody want to hear that. Or if you have somebody to come and correct you and say, you know what, as a friend tell you the truth, or as a family, it don't matter. You continue to do this. You be constantly, I kind of noticed that with you and this and that. Now you mad at them. So when it comes to being single, this is a crucial time that you work on yourself, right? And the third thing you need to do is be engaged with learning who you are. When you are single, because the thing is, you want to get back out there eventually. Okay? Be so engaged with learning who you are. And you know what? When I was putting this together, how it really came to me, when you are single, you supposed to be busy doing everything that you do for that companion. You supposed to be doing it for yourself. Yeah, be engaged with learning who you are. Is this not what you do when you are with someone else? When you are dating, when you begin dating with someone else, you be so focused on learning who they are, what they like, what they don't like. Yeah, I know he eat this. I know she eat that. She don't like that. I know this her favorite scent. This his favorite scent. Yeah, I know she don't like doing it. I know he don't like doing this. Yeah, I know this one of his favorite lines right there. That's his favorite color. But you don't even know this half. You won't take the time to find this much out about yourself. And see, the thing about it is that when you are engaging with learning who you are, it's supposed to be on a deeper, intimate level of you, who you are. Most people, or is connecting with people you shouldn't have never connected with in the first place. But because you didn't know who you was, it took for you to get in a relationship with them, for them to do some of the stuff that they was doing to you, for you to learn, I don't like that. He like doing all this, or she like doing all, I don't really like doing it. And that right there alone could be a reason on why you and the person couldn't work out. Because come to find out, and I did a podcast on that. Being compatible. Compatibility is not what everybody think that it is in most cases. And now he find you boring, you find him boring, or you don't want to do what he want to do. And you know what, that'll never work in a relationship, because if he like doing these dangerous thrill seeking things and this is not you, or she like doing it and this is not you, then guess what, that right there is finna cause a problem. Because in a relationship, you must know that you have to be down to do some things that your spouse like doing, even if that's not something that you like doing, because everything's not about you. But if you're dating someone who they like doing a whole lot of things that you're finding out now, you shouldn't be finding out what you like and what you don't like once you're in a relationship. You should have been finding it out before you got in one. This is why being single is crucial, and truly embracing it and doing the proper work. Most people be finding things out about themselves through the process of someone doing it to you. And you be like, I don't like that. Oh, I do like that. Oh, I said, and that could be okay in its proper essence, but you should not be discovering who you are and about you through the process of being with someone. You should have known this before you got with someone. And people don't understand this crucial time in engaging with learning who you are. I'm telling you, this is also helps you with weeding out people that you should not be even dating or entertaining. Most people don't even know who they are. So it's like you don't even know what you like to eat. So you just eat whatever that's put on the plate. That's what it's like. When you don't know who you are, it's like eating whatever that's put on the plate. And guess what? You only discovered it because you were eating it. And then you like, I don't like that. It should not be like that for a relationship. You should not have to put your heart on the line to find out that I shouldn't be with that person. That's not wise. That means you are ignorantly out here dating. I'm sorry, but it is the truth. And I did it. I did it. I've done it. I've done it. And that should not be the case. When you are talking about that you're connecting yourself with someone, building a life, this is not the time to be taking chances. You should be prepared. This is like you got an important project at work where your job is on the line, where this can make or break the company, and you get up there saying, I'm finna see if this work or not. That's not the time to be doing that. When it's time to present, meaning when you get in a relationship, it's time to present. You should not be figuring things out, especially not if this can work for you or not. That's dangerous. And that's what most people are doing. Being ran over, messed up, only to find out this cannot work for me. You should have known it about yourself in the first place. You got people out here, real talk. And this is why it's so important of learning yourself. You got people out here who, when it comes to communicating with each other, they talk harsh. And then to some, it would seem like crazy to each other, right? But they okay with that. But is that you? Is that you? Are you okay with sometimes your spouse might talk a little crazy to you or a little harsh to you? Is that okay with you? This is something you should be finding out. It should not take for you to get in a relationship to understand I don't want a man or woman that talks crazy to me or talks harsh to me. And that harsh and craziness is to the standard of what you decide that it is. I was just watching some videos, no lie. And I mean, the stuff blow my mind. And I was watching the dude and the girl straight calling each other bees. And they in a relationship. Intolerable for me. But you got relationships where people are okay with that. And it shouldn't take for you to get in a relationship to understand if you want to be talked to like that. You know what I'm saying? You need to know what works for you and what don't work for you before you go putting your heart on the line. That's not wise. That's like an investor. That's why I say relationships are like businesses. And an investor do not play around with putting their money on the line without first understanding what is this business about. Because the thing about it is I'm only investing because I'm looking for a return. That's the same with you in a relationship. You should only be investing through wisdom because you're looking for a return. You should not be out here investing on a hope and a whim with your heart, with your life. Where they do that at? Ain't nothing about that wise. Ain't nothing about it. You invest in your body, your mental. It's so many things you invest when you get into a relationship and you doing it on a hope and a whim. And you don't want to be single. You don't see the benefits of being single. This is what should be happening while you are single. You should be working on these things. It's so sad. And when I look at the younger generation, they don't even be knowing who they are because half of their identity is built off of singers and rappers and what they're seeing on TV, social media. All of that is so dangerous because in that you have lost your identity. So if you're dealing with someone who do not know their identity, first of all, that's dangerous because that's like a shapeshifter and a chameleon. You could put on any identity. And on top of that, when it comes to someone handing you something in life, you're liable to take whatever because if you don't know your identity, you don't know your standards, you don't know your do's, you don't know your don'ts, you don't know any of that. So you're just out here testing the waters and you getting all these abrasions and knots and cuts and bumps just to find out that don't work for me. That's not how it should be. That is not how it should be. But a lot of these young people doing that though. Older people too. I mean, and it's crazy because I have talked to older people and you don't even know who you are. You still out here doing the same thing, but you trying to tell this young man or this young woman over here, look, don't do that. You shouldn't be, but you not even doing it. You still out here messing around with somebody who treats you like a piece of trash. It's not funny. It's funny. And all it is because you have not solidified your identity. And that's the next thing that I wrote down. When you engage with learning who you are, this helps solidify who you really are. Solidify means to define, set. When you are set and defined in who you are, it is way harder for people to trick you. You don't go for anything. So when you are in a single state and being single, these are the things you need to be doing. If that last relationship didn't work, it ain't because they failed you, it's because you failed you. And see, people don't want to hear this because the blame story sounds better. But you failed you. You did that. You made the wrong choices. You picked the wrong person. You moved too fast. You didn't know what you was looking for. You don't know your identity. You got some brokenness you ain't dealt with yet. Your perception is wrong. It's so many things that could be playing a role. That's why you need to, when you are single, you need to truly, just as much as you engage with someone because you want their attention, when you feel like you done found that person, that's how much you need to be engaging with your own identity. You need to be engaging with all your heart. Who are you all up in your own face? Who are you? What do you like? Look, we finna go over here and do some stuff. We finna go to some places and eat some stuff. We finna put ourselves, we finna date. We finna do all that. I'm all in your business. What's your favorite color? Do you really like red or do you really like orange? Do you like black or is it the purple? Is it the turquoise? You should be engaging with yourself that intense, just as intense how you be dating when you be dating that man or that woman. Because you know how hard you be going. You know how hard you be engaging with them. Oh, I'm looking all on. He got a little score right here. She do too. Yeah, it's a little mole. I really like that little mole you got on your face. But you don't know the moles on your face. You don't hardly understand. Somebody say, "What is score?" You be like, "What? I got a score back? I ain't even know." That's dangerous. I mean, you ain't even looked over your own body as well as you looked over that other person's body. I mean, seriously. This is how hard you should be engaging with yourself when you are single. So you can truly solidify who you really are. Ain't no more guessing. Why are you out here dating people and guessing if it's gonna work? You done put your heart on the line, your mind, your soul, and your spirit and everything else on the line, guessing we might work. And you know, it's so crazy because we live in a world where this is normalized. It's normalized. This is normalized. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna see how this gonna work out with old dude or old girl. I'm not seeing any of that. No, thank you. No, thank you. I've been out there. I know guessing don't work. You better know something. You up here trying to do this test on a guess. You are liable to fail. And that's why you keep failing. It's not that the people are failing you, you are failing you, which is allowing this toxicity to continue in your relationship. So I wanted to say this too. When you are truly engaging with yourself, solidifying, secure, it helps to secure, finalize, and make certain. Okay. So that means when you stepping back out in this field or this pool, this realm of dating, you step standing on some solid ground. Not out here. I tell people, man, people just I seriously, if you know who you are and you solidify who you are, what you stand for, I'm telling you, it is not hard to weed unnecessary people out. I'm telling you, this what I'm saying, I know because I've experienced it and I've done the work. I've asked the hard questions. I've stood in the mirror and looked at that person that was failing me. And it was me. It was that broken version of me. It was failing me. Now it don't take time. I know what kind of man I'm looking for. I have a better idea. It's beyond you are cute. It's beyond you, whatever that you think you got going on. It goes into the man's soul. Who are you? Because that's what really matters. Because that's who you're going to be dealing with. Who that man or that woman is. That's who you're dealing with. You're not. You only deal with the eye candy for a certain amount of time. Because guess what? If their inner soul is not right, that eye candy that once looked as sweet, nice, and good is going to also become tangy, tart, and ugly. So that eye candy don't matter. Because I've been in relationships and thought he was so fine, thought this and that. But then his soul wasn't correct. Who he was wasn't correct. And all of a sudden, successful? How you spend that much time on working to change the person, but you won't spend that much time on working to change yourself? That's backwards. Because one thing we know is that don't no man have power over no one else to make them change. A person change when they want to. So why is it that you won't invest that same time into working on changing yourself? That's what you should be doing while you're single, because that is one person that you actually have the power to change. All you have to do is change your mind, which change your actions, and it change the way you're thinking and everything else, and then the rest just follows. But you done spent 5 years trying to change someone that never changed, wasted your time, took your time, wasted your resources, your energy. They didn't, matter of fact, tainted you. Most people be leaving out of relationships bitter, angry, and mad. And then you take that trash over to the next relationship, but you won't spend the time and take to be single and work on yourself. And now you want to jump in the next relationship and work on that man and woman. I have straight met people. It's not funny. But I have straight met people that think like this. And they be like, but they be like, I be like, why are you even talking to that person? Like, not even being funny. These people I know, like, I know, but I'm like, why are you? They be like, oh, I'm gonna tame them, I'm gonna train them, and it never works. And then I see him down the road. Man, he or she is stressing me out. I'm sick of them. I'm tired of them. And I'm telling me I'm about to lead them. Oh, but you thought you was the greatest tamer in the world. You thought you were a trainer, didn't you? Humans were never meant to be trained. Not in that way. You cannot train no one. You wasn't given the power to train people. You could train animals, and even some of them you better leave alone and go about your business. But one person you have the power to train is yourself. And instead of wondering and trying to work on making people become who you want them to be, how about you work on you becoming who you need to be so you could attract the right people and identify the right ones and be able to identify when they're not the right one for your life. See, people don't even understand that. They don't even understand that ideology. That's why I don't change people. I just decide. I gather, when it comes to dating people, I just gather information. And because I know who I am, once you give me the data, it is up to me for me to now decide if this is suitable for me or if it's not suitable for me. If it's not suitable for me, I'm not even going any further with it. And I will let you know that you are perfectly fine. You are great. You are awesome. Just not for me. Okay. So the fourth thing is build standards for yourself. This happens when you are in a single season. This why the topic was why being single is crucial. And these are just only 4 benefits that I'm giving. But why single is crucial and what to do while single. People only thing people be doing while they single is waiting for the next person to come along. You don't even know that it's something you're supposed to be doing. And that's what you could be doing. Building standards for yourself. This helps. Now, I'm going to tell you what building standards do. This helps to define and structuralize what really matters when building outside relationships with others. I'm going to read that again. While you're being single, you should be building standards for yourself. This helps to define and structuralize what really matters when building outside relationships with others. So standards are not only for you, but standards are also to help with structuralizing, with building outside relationships with others. This is what will tell you, no, I can't talk to that person. or no, I can't. It could go down to friends. I don't care, but we're talking about relationships. But this is what will help you to structuralize and say, no, you're not suitable, or no, I can't be dealing with you, or yes, you know what, you fit the criterias. Most people are dating and don't even have criteria. And then the criteria that they have is trash. It has all to do with this outside stuff. They need to have a house. They need to have a car. They need, and that's good. I'm not saying that it's not needed. But if you base your whole standards off of cars, houses, and all of this, they can have all that and smack you right upside your head. I'm not being funny. It's the truth. They can have all those things and cheat on you till they can't cheat no more. They can have all those things and be the most disrespectful, dismissive, disregarding person. But they met your standards, them little shallow standards. That's important. Listen, I'm not saying that it is, so don't come thinking that I'm saying that your partner shouldn't have a house or be established, depending on what level, age, range, whatever that you are. But if you base your whole decision, and that's all your standards require, is those things, I feel sorry for you. You'll be easily tricked. And they'll buy you all this and they'll do you all that and then call you all out your name. Yeah, yeah. And they'll be disrespectful at your house, all outside your house, yelling and doing all kind of stuff. And then tomorrow, guess what? They're gonna apologize with buying you another this. So a lot of times people's standards are not high, especially in this world that we live in. A lot of it is based off materialistic things. You don't even hear people, too many people that have standards that, like, I want them to be kind. I want them to be respect elders. I want them to have morals that even money cannot break. See, the things that really matter, most people not even looking at. That's why you need to sit down, and when you're single, and this is the crucial time, you need to be for real looking within to what matters. People don't even care about that. They'll cuss their mom out and then they'll cuss yours out too, and you will still be with them. Real talk. Real talk. You don't even know what and it goes even beyond that. Most people don't even know they're compromising or they're uncompromising parts. But this goes with your standards. And then you be with somebody that'll cross the line on every turn because you ain't never had a line for real sex. So they just do whatever that they want to do to you. And then the thing about it is, like I said earlier, because people don't know who they are, they discover what they don't like while being with people. But now it's too late for you to try to set a standard after you done already got in the situation and then let it slide one too many times. It didn't happen one too many times, and now you discover you really don't like it. I bet if I was to sit in the room, I've done it, I'm not lying, and ask people, who are you? What is your identity? What are you looking for in a relationship? What kind of woman are you looking for? What kind of man are you looking? What kind of criteria would you like for him to meet? What matters when it comes to morals with that man or that woman that you are dating? Most people don't even think like that. Because most people don't even take relationships serious nowadays, because a lot of it is so toxic. People are so scorned, they're so broken that now I meet so many people that be like, man, hey, these women for the street, these men for the street, man, F them. I just get what I can and I keep it moving, man. I be playing these dudes, man. When it come to these women, I don't trust them. And the stuff that they be saying be the key crucial things, fundamental things for a relationship. But you want to be in one. And now y'all running up and down the street, chasing each other, doing toxic stuff. You just stole their stuff, went over their house, terrorizing them in their house. You up at their job, you terrorizing their family. All this foolishness. And then tomorrow y'all back together. And we normalize this, especially the younger generation. Praise Jesus Christ, Lord. Have mercy. Listen, when it comes to being single, understand that being single is just as important as being in a relationship. I would tell anybody, if you haven't been single and actually been in a place where you are complacent in being single, then guess what? You need to go back to the drawing board. hmm You need to go back to the drawing board. You are out here doing some stuff with no regard to your own life. If you cannot sit down and truly answer what kind of man or woman that you would like to be with and what really matters in that man and woman, you definitely don't need to be outside. You need to go in the house. And I'm talking about it's more than just saying that he be a provider, she be submissive, and all this other stuff. That's not good enough. That's so broad. It's time to narrow it down. What are your deal breakers? I have asked people these questions. What are your deal breakers? And I'm talking about grown people, and they might say one thing, and then they be, they be like, that's really it. And it's so sad. That's so sad for you because that's your only deal breaker. So that means that man or woman can do A, Y, Z, and everything else just long as they don't touch B. And then when I get to putting it like that, they be like, well, no, I ain't saying that and this. I be like, okay, so tell me, specify what your deal breakers. And I ask these questions because if you can't do this, then guess what? Why are you dating? Why are you not embracing being single? Why are you so eager to be in a rush in a relationship? You know, why are you doing these things? So on tonight, that was just really the topic on tonight. Why being single is crucial and what to do while single. Don't be sitting there twiddling your finger trying to position yourself to be in the next relationship. Use that time. That time is so crucial. Use it to really find out who you are. Prep. Excuse me. Being single is preparation time. That is the time you're supposed to be prepping to position yourself to be with someone, and also to be able to gain an eye to be able to weed out and be able to differentiate the fake from the real. We're gonna put it like that. Time wasters from somebody that could be about their life. Like, don't be just sitting up there just, oh, I can't wait to be with the next person. Or are you saying I'm gonna just be single for a little bit? And then you know what? Something else came to me too is that most people are only be single and they like, I'm gonna be single so I can heal. Hey, this got me though. People would be like, we'll be like, why you single? Oh, I'm single so I can heal. Heal from what? Because anytime we are healing, that means something broke us. Now, What broke you? That's what you need to be. Not just being single to heal. And in most cases, people be talking about, I'm just going to be single so I can heal and get over that last person. That's all they be trying to do in most cases because the pain hurt right now. It hurt. And in some cases, people just on the rebound. How toxic are you? Yeah, but that's a whole nother conversation. But you saying I'm gonna be single so I can heal and get over that person. And I thought about that. People say I'm gonna be they single so they can heal. Okay. But if you're healing, now we gotta talk about some had to break you, some had to hurt you. What hurt you? And then, like I said, in most cases, if you ask people, well, you healing from what? I'm healing because old dude, old girl, man, they really hurt me. They hurt me. How did they hurt you? Then they'll tell you, oh, cause they cheated on me. I found out they was dealing with somebody else. They lied to me, and this and that and third. And that's as far as most people will go. But I'm challenging you. Go a little bit deeper out in that water. That's good. Deal with those areas. But at the end of the day, when you get done doing all that healing from that man or that woman hurting you through cheating, and flat out tell you in your face. But I feel like you should have said it before you did it. But in most cases, they're gonna lie. But my question is, if you gotta ask somebody if they cheating, you need to leave anyway. Cause what's making you feel like that? Okay? You just chose to believe the lie. And you knew it. You denied your truth to believe they lie. That's how they go. I don't care. I don't care. They was a manipulator. They was manipulating you a long time ago. I'm telling you, man. Before people get to the point of breaking up with people who done lied, cheated, manipulated, and did all kind of stuff, it was already done. I don't care if you broke up with them because they stole your money. They was stealing your money in your face. Just the circumstances of how they was asking for your money, trying to get your money all in your pockets, and you felt that something was wrong. It just didn't sit well with what was going on. And then they ask you for your money. "Oh, I'm gonna give it back," and they don't work. They don't do none of that. They don't none. They got the sob story how they going through. Man, I'm telling you, I do not care. Even situation where you just seeing where people in straight been took for thousands of dollars. That was your fault. At the end of the day, why are you steady giving them your money? Why are you steady allowing them to lie to you? So at the end of the day, when it all boils down, when you get done healing, taking that break so you can heal and be single so you can heal. And from what? That last person, what they do, they cheated on me, they lied. I still need you to get around to how you get yourself in a situation like that. I'm gonna tell this story, right? Before I end out. Now I'm gonna get and this true life. I ain't making this up. This my testimony. This is my story. Okay, I was in a relationship with a gentleman, and I love God. Now I gotta add God in here because this is how He dealt with me and how He brought knowledge and wisdom to me. I was dealing with a gentleman, and long story short, me and this gentleman was together for a while. He ended up cheating on me. But you know what? Before I even get into that, God bringing something else to me. I had dreams of this man cheating on me before I discovered it. You got people that's going through, and you still didn't want to believe it. You in the dream, waking up crying, and you tell the cheater. And you be like, I had a dream you was cheating. Oh, not me, and this and that. You be like, it felt so real, and you just choose to believe it. But it be under other indicators there. But with this gentleman, he cheated or whatever, and so I went before God. And I was crying like a little baby. And I'm like, Lord, he such and such and this and that. Hey, I love God because he's so real. And I could laugh about it now, but at that time I had to shut up. And I'm like, Lord, he lied to me and he did this and he did that. In the midst of telling God this, he said, but he lied to you from the beginning. And that's enough to make your tears dry up, right? I'm like, what, like, Lord, what you mean? He lied, and God brought back something so I chose to overlook it. And the thing about it, it fell in my lap. God brought back to me when me and this gentleman first started dating. Because God told you, say he lied to you from the beginning. And it was an incident where he had asked me for something. And he asked me for like $5. And I had gave him the $5. Like it wasn't even no big issue. I gave him the $5. He went on about his business. I ended up being in the company of somebody that he knew. I was not asking about this money or none of that. They end up now. He asked me for $5 and did thank you, Lord, because I'm gonna add the whole thing on. He asked me for $5, but he chose to go further and tell me what the $5 was for. I never even asked him what it was for, but he chose to tell me like, yeah, can I get $5? I'm trying to whoop, wop, 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 whatever he was trying to do. So I'm like, oh, okay, here, whatever. So I end up getting in the company of someone that he knew. We wasn't talking about this $5, didn't ask what he do with the $5 or none of that. And the person told me and was like, yeah, such and such. Yeah, he had $5 and he bought this. But whatever that he bought, it was not what he asked me for the $5 for. And God bought that little and look, oh come on, come tell the whole truth. I would tell the whole truth. And when I found out, I didn't even say nothing to the person. I just listened. And I'm talking about it just fell in my lap. I didn't ask none of that. So I just gathered the information, went on by my business. I ended up going to the gentleman and I'm like, what you lie to me for? Because see, one thing about me, I'm very outspoken, but it was my fault. And we ain't gonna get around the fact it's my fault. But I'm like, what you lie to me for? I'm like, you lying about $5. I'm like, you ain't even have to lie to me. And they was like, oh well, I ain't want to tell you why. Overlooked it. God brought that little bitty story back to me years later while I was messing with this gentleman and was at my bed crying because he was lying and cheating. So when I tell you, I know what I'm talking about. It be always there. And I'm sitting here telling God